Good morning, classes. I do want to apologize for not being there today. I'm getting some electrical work done on my house, so I have no power. I have no internet, nothing. However, I do want to let you guys know that we're going to get some work done today, and I will be grading this piece of writing that we're doing, and we will. I'm going to take you through it step by step. So what I would like you guys to do is get your paper or your get your Microsoft Word document ready to go or whatever, and we're going to start to write. And I encourage you to push pause to do that. In fact, I want you to push pause right now so that you guys can get kind of ready to write. Okay, because I'm going to show you kind of exactly how we're going to do this. All right. So push pause, get your stuff ready, and click start when you're ready to go. Okay, so you guys obviously recognize this. This was a digital note cards. Now, I went to do some digital note cards here, and I decided to just, in order to help you guys go through this writing process a little bit, I created a digital note card with a thesis here. I picked an industry like the hospitality industry or the retail. I should probably say hospitality and retail industry. And then I created this thesis. Feel free to read that. And just to, this is kind of what we're talking about. Your thesis probably has some form of a discussion of problems and then some solutions. That's at least how I've been preaching to you for 2 weeks now. If it doesn't, then let's talk, or fix it. But we're discussing problems and solutions within the industry that you're wanting to go be a part of someday, and perhaps you'll decide that you don't want to be a part of that industry. Anyway, this is why we do this. This is why we do the writing process. It's about self-discovery in many ways. Okay, so let's pretend I just wrote my intro. Okay, now you guys remember we did the intros last week. I gave you guys a good look at the intro. If you didn't see it, I posted that intro. I posted it in Canvas, and you can feel free to go look at it. And everything I'm doing here is designed to help you. So feel free to copy the format. That's what I'm asking you to do, because um, sometimes writing is really hard for people. If I can get you started, then it becomes a lot easier. And so that's what we're trying to do here. And that's why you're going to spend the next hour or so, writing a 1/6 of your paper, hopefully. Okay. So assume then that I have my intro here and I followed up with my thesis. So I got my digital note cards. All I did was I copied and pasted my thesis right here. Okay. So you can see although the hospitality, I would actually add on to your and whoops and retail industries. Gotta be are dealing with unprecedented stresses during this pandemic, such as mass layoffs and the distinct possibility of up to half of all businesses within this industry going out of business. There's the problem. It is possible to turn this tide and reinvigorate the industry through aggressive marketing campaigns and business restructuring that rethinks traditional ways of making money. So I just wrote that like 10 minutes ago. I know it doesn't sound perfect, but it sounds pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna get crazy here, but so when we think of then what I would look for as we do this thesis, what am I looking for? Well, um, I would hope to see that we are going to show that there are some issues such as mass layoffs and companies going out of business. That's a problem. And then I would want to see that it's possible to turn the tide through aggressive marketing. So that's a paragraph, and business restructuring. Okay. So what's this going to look like again? And I will erase this here. We've got the next paragraph is problems. The paragraph after that perhaps could be solutions, such as aggressive marketing. Simple. I know this is like writing 101, but it's important to do that. And Hang on, let me get the screen up. And another solution here would be in a paragraph. What did I say? I said restructuring, business restructuring. I don't know, I can't spell. Okay, and then what I would hope to do then, obviously, is finalize with some sort of conclusion, and I would be on my way to a pretty good paper right there. And this is only 5 paragraphs, but some of these things like business restructuring, I could do several paragraphs, so I wouldn't have to be so robotic and 5 paragraphy here. But I could be. It's not the worst thing in the world. Um, what I'm going to write about here, I'm going to try to help you maybe with this paragraph. And so again, as we think about you writing your paper right now, I want you to think about this paragraph as well. Because you've done some research now and perhaps you've done some problems or identified some problems within the industry that you would like to go into, let's do that particular paragraph right now. Okay, so I'm gonna back out of all this stuff here. I'm just gonna erase. Oh, my eraser is covered by this. Okay, so let me just erase here. Okay, so we're gonna go into problems here, right? And I don't know why the box doesn't erase. That's so weird. But what I'll do is, you know what? I also made my black marker red for some reason, and that's really bothering me. So let's turn it back into black. Okay. Anyway, I think what I'll do is lasso this and just kind of move them over. Okay. So this is where we're at, and we're looking at traditional ways of making money. Okay, so you guys go ahead and pause for a second, get your stuff ready to go, and your note cards ready to go, and then we're going to go from here. Okay? All right, now that you've started running again. Okay, so here's my digital note cards. This is my source citation, my evidence, and how it supports my thesis, perhaps my analysis there. Okay, now as you guys are well aware, we're writing in a P.E.A. format. So we want to make a point, we want to give evidence, and we want to analyze. But before I can make any kind of clear point, I got to start into this next paragraph so that I can kind of introduce that there are issues. Oh, by the way, when you guys tab between or hit enter between paragraphs, just do it once there, because once you double space, it'll all work itself out. I don't want to see as the grader these big, huge amounts of space between paragraphs. That doesn't fool me, I guess. Okay, so what I want to say here is just like something basic to introduce the idea that there are problems. Okay, so what I want to do is sorry, bear with me while I write, guys, and I know that it takes a second to type, but bear with me. Okay, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 is similar to other health-related crises in world history. Goodness. And although plagues and health issues are nothing new, neither are the economic effects that go with them. Okay, so now I've just I'm actually going to tab that so you see that. So I just created a sentence that kind of leads into the idea that I'm going to start talking about economic effects that go along with this plague or with this COVID scare. Okay. Now, how do I? That's kind of an introductory lead into the paragraph statement. Push pause and try to write a 2 sentence lead in into your statement right now. So please push pause and write, okay? Because I will grade this, and this is a part of your attendance for today. So do it right now. And you're back on. Okay, so now that you've done that, we know when we've written in other people's classes that we use a P.E.A. format, okay? So P, point, example, analysis. Okay, so now I want to start with a point. Let's go back to this, and I want to start with a point. Okay, now I'm going to use my first citation here, which is from the intervention policies on the labor blah blah blah. Which I actually in this I would need to go back and get the in this citation I would need to get the journal I got it from. However, I do have the author, which is here, and I have the evidence already, the E. So what I want to do is I want to make a point here. Okay. So to do that, let's just make a quick, easy, simple point. And I want you to pause after I do this. So here's my point. Again, making this up on the fly, so I apologize if I stutter or hesitate here. um, the The economic effects in 2020 are particularly harsh to the hospitality industry. Okay, so there's my point. Okay, analysis. Oh, I'm sorry, evidence. Goodness. The E. I have this as my direct quote that I'm going to use. And I'm going to go to my card actually. And I'm going to take a portion of that. I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it right here. And here it is. Okay, so but I can't just lead right into that with just like the business closure policies, blah blah blah. Okay, I have to say who's going to say that. So as you lead into this text, I want to say Arthur Huang from the journal. I would have to find that source, but what I would say before that is Arthur Huang from the, I'm just going to make something up for a second. The Journal of blah, blah, blah said that, quote, okay. Now, so there's my, these boxes are really in the way, aren't they? I apologize. So there's my quote, there's my E. Okay, now I have to do A. Well, that was the point of doing these cards, is that your job is to sort of use this to say, here's the A, I guess. Okay, so let me go here and type this, or copy this, excuse me, and now I want to lead into this. What this shows is that, and now I'm going to put in my analysis. Okay, and my analysis was in 2 months. In 2 months, as much as 30% of the hospitality industry lost their jobs, making this sector a particularly volatile industry to work in. Those are all my words. I just made that up prior to making this little video. Okay. All right. So looking at this, have I established a problem? Remember, you're a lawyer. Your job is to prove it. So the answer, probably with one single source, would be no, you have not established a problem. So but that's why we have other cards, and I'm going to go to the other cards in a second. But before I do that, what I would like you to do is, I hope you've already written your little lead-in part to your problem, and then and then what I want you to do right now is write a P.E.A. statement. Make a point, copy in your evidence, and then copy in your analysis, and then see how that looks and see if that makes sense. Do that, push pause, and do that right now. It should take you about 5, 6, 7 minutes to do. Follow my example, please. Okay, so push pause. Okay, so you're back, hopefully, and hopefully you have at least a working now problem paragraph. Okay, but like I said, we need to be able to prove this a little bit more. So I want to add another P.E.A. statement in here. Okay, so here's my E, is that retailers that offer value-oriented brands and discount retailers are likely to benefit from this situation, at least during this economic downturn, while luxury retailers will likely suffer. It will be important for retailers to understand what consumers view as being essential and what they consider to be a luxury. Okay, so this particular piece of evidence I have is about how not only hospitality, but in retail, um, not all businesses are created equal. Higher end retailers are particularly hard hit by the recent pandemic. Okay, so there's my point. I just made a point. Okay, now I have to go to the E. I need to go to the evidence. Well, I already have it here because I made you guys do it. And so for me, made myself do it. I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it right here. Okay, now there's my E. However, again, I can't just have a quote flying out of nowhere, and I would have to quote that, by the way. So who is this from? Well, it's Raghaveen, Anne Raghaveen, she's from the Journal of Retailing. Okay, and so I want to go to the I'm having problems here, guys. Sorry. I want to go to the part where I start my E, or my example, and I want to say Anne Raghaveen from the Journal of Retailers emphasizes this disparity in her article. Let me see what the article's called. In her article, sorry, I'm lost. In her article, Pandemic may change the world of retailers. In it, she says, comma, quote. Okay, so there's my E. Okay, what do I have to follow this up with? Which I didn't do in the last thing, but I want to make sure we do. Raghavine and the page number. So I'm going to say the page number because I looked at the article was 12. Okay, so there's my, and I needed to put that up here as well. I needed to put this citation here. And there we go. Now I would put that in the source citation page, works cited, and we'd be good. Okay, so what do I need next? Well, I got my example there. Now I need analysis. Okay, so my analysis is this. I have to go to the actual site. Goodness. Here's my analysis right here. Clearly, high-end retailers may suffer and be forced to find lower-cost alternatives to their products in order to survive. Okay? Have I made my case? The answer is probably not. Do me a favor, though, push pause and do another P.E.A. Statement like that, like I just did. Okay, so here's what I did just a second ago without having to type a whole lot. I mean, I have to like really think a lot. I did a lot of the thinking and the research. And then in my little analysis here, I was able to just kind of transfer it over. Okay, but so do me a favor, push pause and do a second P.E.A. statement. Go. Okay, you're back, hopefully. Hopefully you were able to kind of put that together. In order to make my case, I think another piece of evidence would be great. Okay, and so I've got this from Alexander Bartik and Marianne Bertrand, measuring the labor market as at the onset of the COVID crisis. Okay, so here's my evidence here. And so I might make one more P.E.A. statement here. My point here will be that this labor crisis is also seen in the statistics in not in the National Bureau of Economic Research has indicated that the problem is dire. Okay. Now I'm going to go, so there's my point. Let's go to the example. Here it is. Okay, and you can feel free to read that example, and then here's my analysis on the next page. So let's look at that. Copy. Okay, so by the way, what do I have to do here? Bartik. We'll say that was page 2. I didn't write the pages down. I should have. Okay, now I got to copy in my analysis. And in this analysis, Bartik discusses that the unemployment rate in the hospitality industry was several times larger than other sectors of the economy. It is obvious that numbers that were greater than the Great Recession means that the pandemic may have perhaps taken us to levels not seen since the Great Depression. Okay. All right, guys. So what happened then is in about, I don't know, 45 minutes, I was able to research a problem in an industry that I just made up on the spot. I mean, in my own mind, that I decided I was going to do. I did some research, and then I showed you that we can easily put together our case right here in a way that is, I guess, hopefully easy, perhaps a bit robotic. I know some of you guys are you don't need that robotic writing like that, and I understand. I give you some free. You guys that are really good writers, I give you a little bit of freedom, but sometimes that robotic writing helps process that, and I really emphasize that using a PEA format. Okay, so if you guys will, um, please write that paragraph, and I want you to submit it to the assignment. It's due today. It's it will show me, or it will be how I take roll once I get electricity again, and then I'll grade this as well. By doing this, guys, this was here's a page of typewritten text that would there would be about a sixth or a seventh of my paper. Okay, I've already written an intro that would be already up here. So there's 2 pages. Okay, so it's possible to do this fairly quickly, fairly easily using the research we already have. Okay, I want to encourage you to get this done, and I mean it's due. So take your time and over and out.